It's hard to move forward after all the events that have transpired over the past 3 years, or I guess 4 years, Colleen, right?
Oh, really? If you're asking. Since 2007,
Sure.
right? Or even beyond that. Go ahead.
Sure. I mean, this has been on the table for so long. How do we move forward? You know, the only way is another RFP process, a third RFP process, one that respects the community, as Erica has mentioned, and one that moves the ball forward in terms of getting something out of the ground. You know, I mean, at a certain point, you have to just say it is better to do something and take a step forward than to just kind of continue to go in circles and be undecided. So I think speed is actually a priority in this. I'm not saying that we need to rush things. I'm not saying that we should, you know, be too hasty about it, but you know, moving the ball, there's something to be said for the ability to actually get something done. And in the construction industry, it's kind of like proof of life. You know, start putting blocks on top of each other. Start moving dirt around on the site. You know, once you do that, once you have a product there and you're kind of seeing results, you know, that's when you know something has been accomplished, not when you're continuing to debate and go back and forth. So get the RFP process out, do it equitably, get experts in the room to determine how to get the best response on that RFP, get the community in line quickly, and let's move on.
Trust has to be earned, and I think that is a process. The trust has been broken. There were promises made to families decades old that were broken, and the communities are still facing the repercussions of those decisions. So not to revisit the past, because I was told not to go back, but in order to move forward, you have to look back somewhat as far as what went wrong and what we could do to move forward. So I think in terms of the trust building, for me, again, it starts with those communities that were most affected. And what we did and what we were asked to do as leaders in this community was host spaces for people to come and articulate their concerns, their issues, their questions, a safe place for people to come to learn, to your point, not to be judged because they didn't understand the X's and O's of the construction business and of the business environment, but we're in the people business. And for me, as a community movement organizer and leader in this space, the people part of it is the most valuable. So rebuilding the trust of decades of mistrust and broken promises is a process that needed to already start and needs to be fast-tracked and started again in order for this to move forward.
There's an outstanding documentary film that's been shown a couple times here. It's called Raised. It's about the history of the gas plant district. And one of the things that I didn't fully understand until I saw that was, again, the sense of history. But there was a gentleman at the screening that I saw, and during the Q&A afterwards, he was asked what he wanted to see happen there. He said he just wanted us to be remembered. He said, but he felt that the hole was just too big. And that struck me because I've written about this concept of holes in the fabric of your community. Things that are broken and empty and hollow and just sit broken for long periods of time, they weigh communities down. There's a sense of dread. It's just bad for the community. It's bad for your soul, bad for your psyche. The thing is, many of us don't see the hole at Tropicana Field. But if you are of a certain generation in the African American community, you still see that hole. And I did not fully apprehend that until I saw this film. And I think Mayor Welch sees that hole in a way that many of us, we just don't. And I think we have to acknowledge that as part of that, and that what Erica was saying has to be part of the consideration.